Welcome back to the catch up here on Cris Cyborg's YouTube channel. I am James Lynch. That is not Cris Cyborg. That is Danny Sabatello, one of the hottest bantamweight fighters in the division for Bellator. Danny, how's it going, man?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
Doing awesome. It is good to catch up with you, and congrats on getting this alternate bout here in the bantamweight tournament. Just first, tell me when you found out that this has all come together.
Yeah, so last week I was called by my manager, Jason House with Iridium, and told me that I was going to fight Jornel Lugo. And initially it wasn't part of the tournament. I didn't know that. So either way, I was pumped, going to Hawaii, fighting Jornel Lugo. I've been calling him out for a while now, so I was just absolutely ecstatic about it. And then he calls me maybe 2 days later and says, guess what? We got you in the fucking tournament. This is the fight. It's more of an alternate spot. It's kind of like a wild card spot with the other sports always having wild card positions in their playoffs. So, yeah, I was just absolutely even more pumped. I thought I initially deserved a shot in this tournament, so it's just nice to finally get it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Is this kind of like the next best thing, getting that alternate bout? Again, pretty interesting circumstances for the winner, who they're going to fight and all that. So, yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're ecstatic, but I got to ask anyways, you must be pretty pumped.
Yeah, dude, very pumped. Just because, you know what, there's guys in the tournament like James Gallagher, who's a pussy that I'm so much better than. I think I deserve the shot more than he does. I understand that he has a big following. He has all those Irish fans. But, in terms of skill and high-level MMA, I think I deserve the shot in this tournament. And you know what? It's all said and done, and I am getting that shot in the tournament. So the past is the past, and I'm here now, and I'm just so happy to be able to compete for a world title, and I got to make the most of this opportunity.
And two cool things about this card: you're fighting in Hawaii, which is awesome, and two, Cris Cyborg's on this card too. Like, how cool is that to be able to just share, an event with her as well?
Yeah, I'm pumped. I actually shared an event with her my last fight, which is against Brett Johns. She was the main event also. So it's always good to be on the same card as a legend. It's going to be fun. It's in Hawaii, so I've never been there. What better place to fight? I get to travel the world and fight people. This one is in Hawaii, which, you can't get much better than that. I was supposed to fight a few months ago, maybe 2 months ago, against a guy named Richie Palencia. He backed out like a bitch, of course, but that was going to be in St. Louis. So, what an upgrade. I say the past is the past, and it's put me here, which is good because, who knows if I would have actually had that fight. Maybe I would have got banged up and not been able to fight in this opportunity of the Grand Prix. So, I'm pumped. It's going to be a great card. They got back-to-back cards, one event Friday, one event Saturday, and I'm just pumped about it.
Yeah, and quick correction there. Cyborg's on the Saturday card. You're on the Friday card. My bad, but still,
yeah.
it's still awesome though, right? The fact that they're doing the back-to-back cards. It's going to be in Hawaii, and as someone who I know owns a lot of Hawaiian shirts, you must feel right at home.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of like my style. But do you know who is headlining the Friday
Your card is Velasquez and Liz Carmouche. I just checked. So
okay, yeah. So Cyborg would have for sure been better. She's just an absolute legend, and I actually just like watching her fight. And getting to do it live would have been cool. But you know what? It is what it is. Still being in Hawaii, it's just got to be awesome. But the travel kind of sucks. I'm in South Florida and Fort Lauderdale, so I got to go 6 hours to LA and then another 6 hours to Honolulu. So not looking forward to that too much, especially cutting weight on a plane sucks. But you know what? I'll do whatever it takes. I'll be on a flight for 48 hours if that's what it takes to beat the shit out of Jornel Lugo. But yeah, it's going to be pumped. Hawaii is kind of like more of my vibe anyway. So I think it's going to be a fantastic show.
Yeah. What do you do on a long plane ride? I got to ask you, a podcast guy, you bring in a video game system. What do you like doing when you're on the plane that long?
Yeah, I don't know yet. I haven't really been on a flight that long in a while. It's kind of hard for me to get comfortable and sleep on these flights. Of course, I try to. Maybe I'll get a little bit of sleep, but I got to start planning for that. I haven't really planned for that yet just because I'm kind of dreading it. It kind of sucks that I'm going to have to be doing that. But maybe I'll just watch some movies, listen to some podcasts, maybe listen to some of your interviews. We'll see. Anything to make the time pass. I'll probably watch a little bit more film on my opponent. I like to do that a little bit, but I don't really have it too much set in stone yet.
We haven't seen you in a while, but your last win was unbelievable. You get it over Brett Johns, a guy that they signed from the UFC. It was supposed to be this big thing, and you went in there and took him out. Just how satisfying was that victory, especially with the fact that people were counting you out in that one?
Yeah, dude, I was pumped. I'm still absolutely ecstatic about that, especially because, nobody thought that I was going to win that fight. And, right when I got that call, I was just so happy because I knew that guy's a guy that I can beat and it would propel my career. His only losses are to Aljamain Sterling and Pedro Munhoz. He was, I think, like top 10 at one point in the UFC. And for me to get that call on 5 days' notice and be able to just dominate him was just big for me. And I hope it opened up people's eyes to show that, Danny Sabatello, maybe he is pretty good. And the thing is, people were mad at me and saying that I'm boring because I didn't finish him. And you know what? If the expectation is for me to finish a guy like Brett Johns on 5 days' notice, then I'll take it. I must have pretty high expectations for me. But now that I have a full training camp, I see myself absolutely dominating and beating the shit out of Jornel Lugo. But yeah, that fight over Brett Johns was probably the biggest win of my career, probably one of the biggest wins in just my competitive history. And he's such a good guy and he's a great fighter. And I think it just speaks volumes about my fighting style.
And you referenced your opponent there, Lugo, undefeated, 8-0 record. Style-wise, how are you looking at this matchup?
Yeah, I think it's a great stylistic matchup for me. I've actually been calling him out a lot. We're both from South Florida, so I think I was calling him out even on the regional scene. He's more of a point fighter. He switches stances, likes to jab a lot, good stiff jab. It's pretty quick, but he doesn't really do too much. He doesn't have too much power in his hands, so I'm not too worried about it. I haven't seen his ground game too much, but I think no matter where the fight goes, whether it's on the feet or on the ground, I'm going to just beat the shit out of him. If it does go to the ground, I'm going to absolutely maul him just because that's probably my strong suit. But you know what? On the feet, too, I think I'm faster and I'm quicker and I got more technique than him. I think my skill set is just going to overpower him. And mainly my willpower is. I want to get in his head and I want to break him. I want this fight to just be very violent. I want to see his blood on the canvas. I want to make him bleed. I don't want to get in there and finish him in the first round. I'll finish him in the second or third, but I want to torture him a little bit, especially because he's been talking a little bit of trash as well. So I see the fight going down, just me just in his face the entire time being relentless, eventually breaking him, making him suffer a little bit, and then finishing him.
Love it. You got it to a T there. As far as camp goes, who you mainly working with? You're at one of the best gyms in the world, American Top Team. I know a plethora of training partners, but who are some of the main guys you've been working with?
Yeah, I work with Pedro Munhoz a lot. I would say he's my main training partner. It kind of is a little bit weird. I used to train a lot with Kyoji Horiguchi, but he's also in this tournament, so That's just gotten a little bit different. He's on the other side of the bracket, so a lot has to play out for us to fight each other. But still, just with us in the same bracket, we kind of steer clear away from each other. We're still really good friends. We still talk. A lot of people don't know this. Kyoji was in my corner for my first 4 fights. So, we've been really close. We've been really good training partners together. But for this one specifically and the ones going forward, we probably won't go together too much. But, Pedro Munhoz is probably my main training partner. But when you're at a gym like American Top Team with so many good guys, Tony Gravely is also one of the guys that I go with a lot. There's just so many that I can pick with, so many people that I can go with, so many people that I can have them mimic the style of Jornel Lugo. But yeah, I'd say the main one is Pedro Munhoz.
Love it. That sounds good. Who's going to be making the trip with you as far as your corner for this fight?
Yeah, so one of my buddies from college that I wrestled with at Purdue, Aaron Acid, he's one of my teammates. He's going to be there because he's going to help me cut weight. And, he's just a really good wrestler that I wrestled with growing up. You really, in your corner, you just want people there that you can trust, people there that will calm you down during fight week. All the work is done during fight week. You kind of just want someone there to help you with your weight cut. And he kind of specializes with that in his field right now as well. And he's around the same weight as me. He's about the same height as Jornel Lugo, so he can mimic him pretty good. And then also I'll have Mike Brown in my corner. He's going to be flying down there. He'll also have Kyoji the next day. But yeah, Mike Brown is my head coach. He'll always be in my corner. So he'll also be in there.
Toughest guy in the tournament. We just talked about Horiguchi there. Have you kind of taken a look at the brackets? Is there anyone in there you think, besides yourself, obviously, that you think would be the toughest challenge?
Yeah, no, I don't see too much of a challenge with these guys. I know they're going to be tough fights. I know anything can happen, especially in MMA. This isn't basketball where, if you miss a bad pass or whatever, they just get a 2-point layup or a dunk, or, in football, you miss a block and they gain an extra yard. This is fighting. If your hands are out of position, you can get knocked the fuck out. on the ground you can get submitted like that. The margin for error is so slim. So, honestly, as much as I hate to admit it, on any given day, I could lose to anybody. Flukes happen. Anybody can lose to anybody, and anybody can beat anybody. But, if I go out there with my skill set and Danny Sabatello's best, then I run through all these guys. So I don't really see someone that sticks out too much. I do see it as me and Kyoji Horiguchi in the final, but you never know. Shit happens, and especially in these Grand Prix tournaments with a lot on the line, we're all chasing that belt. You never know. But no, there's not one specific guy. I'm just right now worried about myself, focused on me. And if I just go out there and beat the shit out of people and beat Danny Sabatello, then nobody stands a chance.
Most important question in this interview: where do you get your Hawaiian shirts? Where can people find your getup?
I'm sorry, I can't tell you. I don't
That's a secret. Fair enough.
I can't do it. That's just my style. I don't need any other Danny Sabatello wannabes out there. They got to just stay in my closet, and that's it. You can't get them. They're not sold anymore, so don't even look for them.
Okay, fair enough. Are you going to be looking for someone in your Hawaii, get one of those authentic ones? Are you good with what you got?
No, I definitely want to add to the arsenal, especially being there in Hawaii. I want to take full advantage of it. I've never been there, and I know I obviously can't enjoy it too much with the weight cut and everything. But, I'm still going to be able to look at the beach and, just kind of like feel around. I do want to soak it all in. At the end of the day, it is a business trip. I am going there to beat the shit out of Jornel Lugo, and, that's the end of it. But I do want to take it in a little bit. I can't get carried away because you know what? It is paradise there, I'm sure. And it would be easy to just soak it all in and get soft and stay at the beach and enjoy the sun. But, I got to stay hard-nosed. I got to stay focused. But, yeah, I definitely want to pick up some stuff from Hawaii because, it's a great state and, why not?
Absolutely. Danny, thanks so much for doing this, man. Being my co-host here today on The Catch Up. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to plug, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, just my Instagram is Shock This World. And you know what? A message to the bantamweights and Bellator. You guys are all fucked coming up.